Bolton Wanderers, well, they make one change, switching Robbie Elliott into midfield and bringing in the experienced Steve Whitlow at left back. Could Elliott get a man marking job on the dangerous Paul Merson, we wonder? Otherwise, the three players who picked up midweek injuries on international duty, Ritchie, Jensen and Johnston, they've all been past fit. The star, though, is that Icelandic striker I was telling you about, Ida Gudjonsson, who's scored in every round so far. As for Villa, well, we wondered if they'd risk playing top scorer Dion Dublin, who's played just 9 minutes since recovering from a broken neck just before Christmas. But Dublin is on the bench, and manager John Gregory keeps faith with Julian Joachim, despite a run of 12 games without a goal. Paul Merson's in wonderful form, and Benito Carboni has already got 5 goals on this cup run, including a hat-trick against Leeds United. Gareth Southgate's back after missing 2 games with an Achilles injury, so the Villa defence will be strengthened. Referee David Ellery, with his back to you in the middle there, had about as short a journey to Wembley today as anybody, because he's a housemaster at Harrow School just up the road from here. Villa are going to get us underway. Midweek stories of 1 or 2 rifts in the camp, with Merson criticising Benito Carboni for being a bit greedy and not signing the contract that's being offered to him at the moment by Villa. But they've closed ranks about that, Aston Villa, and they say they're concentrating only on today. And that's exactly as you'd expected, of course. Villa, the side very much in form, but it's worth reminding you at this point that Bolton have gone 6 games without defeat in Division 1, a run in which they've only conceded 2 goals. There is Carboni. 5 of his 6 goals since arriving at Aston Villa have come in the FA Cup, and John Gregory's already on the phone. Here's Ehiog. A lot of mistakes early on. Now can Holdsworth get to this? Yes, he can. Has to hold it up, though, and check back to Whitlow, who just about managed to keep it in play. Players just struggling to come to terms with the slightly different surface here at Wembley, but here's Holdsworth. He was looking to curl that towards the top corner. Instead, it was a nice, easy catch for David James. James, who was on the losing side in a Wembley FA Cup final for Liverpool against Manchester United when Eric Cantona scored the winner in '96. One in the air by Fish. Bolton looking to build quickly. They do believe that in this one-off situation they can get the better of Villa. There's quite a lot of confidence in the Bolton camp, I can tell you. Whitlow. Here is Alan Johnston. Towards the back post, and Holdsworth. Goodness me, that was very, very close. This drifts inches wide. The former Wimbledon striker, how close was that? This might give you an even better idea. Fractions of an inch, innit? Bolton so close to a shock lead. Jensen inside towards Robbie Elliott, playing in slightly unfamiliar territory in midfield. He's usually left back. Johnston coming inside. Thought about giving it a crack and must be wishing now that he had. Villa's free kick. Boateng and Elliott involved in the collision, and it looks like he's still needing a wee bit of treatment there. And by the way, news today that Stan Collymore, ex of Aston Villa, has broken his leg today in the Premiership match against Derby County. And it looks like Villa may well have to make a change here. Looks like a bad knock for Ian Taylor, and I don't think he's going to play any further part, and Steve Stone prepares to come on. Well, that's a terrible blow for Villa, coming as early as the 14th minute. And he's had such a cracking season as well. So Steve Stone, the former Nottingham Forest and England wide right man, comes on, but it looks like he's going to play in a central position for the moment. That's upset Villa's planning a little bit. Stone doesn't usually play there. Merson. He may be the key man for Aston Villa. Whitlow forced to give away the corner. Almost for the first time, Villa able to get men forward in numbers. Merson himself is going to take it. Southgate was waiting there. Then Boateng's shot is blocked on the way through. It's Alan Wright. And it's over the bar. Alan Wright, who's yet to score an FA Cup goal in his entire career. Just for a moment, his eyes were lighting up here. Boateng's effort was well blocked, and then Wright came off his shin, really, didn't it? Seemed to. Wright's header forward. Now here's Whitlow for Bolton, who will be encouraged by what's happened so far. Johnston, lovely footwork, brilliantly done to sidestep Delaney. He's still got it as well. In towards Gudjohnsen, that's a great turn. It's Einar Gudjohnsen. Oh, it hit right on the way through. Otherwise it might have gone in. It was a sublime piece of skill by Einar Gudjohnsen. And was his shot goal-bound when it brushed against Wright? Yes, it was. What a let-off for Villa. Incredible. Just watch this skill. What a spin. That is fantastic. From the youngster they call the Iceman. There's Dion Dublin, who's made a near miraculous recovery from a broken neck, which might even have been life-threatening back in December. But here he is, available and on the bench, and I'm sure we'll see him at some point in the afternoon, particularly if things don't go Villa's way. They want a bit more punch than they're getting at the moment. Bergson. Stone. Back to David James, who's a low clearance, but it worked a treat. Carboni. Joachim's angled run. And Mark Fish covering well. Experienced defender now, Fish. Played in the World Cup, of course, for South Africa. Carboni. Instinctive effort. He'll try his luck from anywhere, Carboni. Hat-trick against Leeds United in round 5. A brilliant solo performance that day. Southgate with a header. Right. Well, Bolton are performing far, far better than they did on their visit to this stadium last year. And about half this side were in the Bolton team that day when they lost so tamely in the playoff final and blew their promotion chance. And they thought at the time it was a punishment, but it worked a treat for Villa, because the Villa players apparently rather relished the idea of not having him balling at them from close range throughout the game. He became more composed, results started to pick up, and these days he tends to keep himself well away from the dugout unless there's a bit of a crisis on. That's a great ball by Merson. What vision to do that. Right. Boateng. Fish not allowing him any sight of the ball. Still 0-0 here. And Bolton have had the best of it so far. Villa beginning to improve, though. Maybe significantly. Will Bolton come to regret those two missed opportunities early in the game? Joachim, quick feet, well done. Return ball from Carboni. It's Joachim, and he's missed it. Well, how vital might this turn out to be? Brilliantly worked, best yet from Villa. Carboni through to Joachim, and the striker who's failed to score for 2.5 months and 12 games couldn't put it away. Bad miss. Could be expensive. Joachim, what a moment that would have been to end his goal drought as well. But that's the way it goes with strikers, you know. Long barren spells, and sometimes after the drought it's a flood. Johnston. Villa unbeaten in their last 5 visits to this stadium, including League Cup wins in '94 and '96, when their victims were first Manchester United and then Leeds. And now Villa have a free kick some 25 yards out. Now this might be an opportunity for Merson to come up with something. Alan Wright might be able to bend one with the left foot. Merson, oh, it's well worked. Joachim was in there. And Jääskeläinen quickly out. Well, that was one from the training ground, and it very nearly came off. Good idea. Villa improving. Merson. Johnston. It's all a bit tight here for Bolton. The ball crashes against the pitch side microphone, so apologies if that deafened you at home. That was the ball cracking against it. Now, good Jonsson. A great challenge by Ehiog, it really was. Carboni. Joachim, onside. Can he do it this time? Joachim again, no he can't. And it was Bergson who smuggled it away. Twice Julian Joachim has had the chances to put Aston Villa ahead, and twice they've been spurned. Carboni again, lovely little flick. The goalkeeper did well too. Jääskeläinen took the pace off it, and Bergson's defensive alertness did the rest. Here comes Villa's corner. Merson playing it in this time towards the back post and just over the bar from Southgate. Opportunities beginning to mount up for Aston Villa. Good effort from Southgate, who scored the winner against Southampton in the 4th round. He also scored a couple in a very good league win for Villa at Leeds this season. After that, they were calling him Rivaldo, the other Villa players. Southgate. Bit on the hopeful side, really, from the England defender. And we're going to get the whistle any time now, I would think, to bring the first half to a conclusion. They can't relax yet. Nobody can here. That place in the FA Cup final is still very much up for grabs. The whistle goes from referee David Ellery. No goals in the first half, but 2 one-on-one chances with the keeper for Julian Joachim. Dean Holdsworth inches away with a header, and also a sublime moment by Ida Gudjonsson, which might have provided a goal for Bolton. Joachim, the culprit for Villa twice, and a half-time scoreline here at a packed Wembley in this FA Cup semi-final of Aston Villa 0, Bolton Wanderers 0. So Bolton Wanderers in their traditional white shirts, now attacking the goal to your right, get us underway at the start of the second half here. Alan Wright with the interception for Aston Villa. Massive support for Villa. This little enclave in North London seems like a part of Birmingham today. There's so much claret and blue around. Hardly saw any Bolton fans on the way in, but they do have reasonable support away to my right. They're probably outnumbered 2 to 1, I'd say, by Villa supporters at Wembley this afternoon. Ritchie doing well enough. Then the bow-legged Whitlow, won by Gudjonsson in the air. Given away by Merson. Bolton promptly allowing Villa to regain possession, though. Bolton might be a First Division club, but this is their 4th visit in 5 years to Wembley. Includes playoff finals. Now then, here is Ida Gudjonsson, and he's going to try it from a long way out. Saw the goalkeeper David James just a yard or so off his line and thought he'd give it a go, and he was entitled to do that because there was no real support for him. Look at Holdsworth on the far side, too far away really to be brought into it. It's the sort of thing that if it had worked, everybody would have said absolutely brilliant, but it didn't. Joachim down for Stone, on towards Carboni, who's not really got into it, bar the odd neat little touch, notably to put Joachim in a couple of times. How soon before John Gregory is tempted by the idea of bringing on Dion Dublin, I wonder. Whitlow helping it forward. Here's Holdsworth. Good turn. And good effort too. He showed his Premiership experience and quality there, Dean Holdsworth. Spins well here, finds some space, and he curls it wide in the end, but good idea. Aiming towards that near top corner. Here's Alan Johnston. Hasn't really been able to go on any of his long, pacey runs so far. Credit to Delaney for that. Holdsworth is eased out of it. Johnston wants too much time. Stone wouldn't give him it. Now it's Merson, who loves to curl the ball off the outside of his foot like that. Little Alan Wright in towards Julian Joachim. Now it's George Boateng looking to curl one. Oh, and Jeskalainen, I don't think he saw that all the way through its journey. Picked it up late, and that's probably why he couldn't hold it. Good effort from Boateng. Out the last couple of matches with an Achilles injury. Gareth Southgate, apparently very sore when he put his football boots on. And there is Nat Lofthouse, who scored in every round when Bolton reached the final in 1953, only to lose to Stanley Matthews and Stan Mortensen and Blackpool. Paul Warhurst will replace Klaus Jensen for Bolton Wanderers. Warhurst, very experienced character, won a championship medal with Blackburn Rovers and was on the losing side in 2 finals in '93, League Cup, FA Cup with Sheffield Wednesday against Arsenal. Had a lot of injury problems in recent times. And he's gone into the centre of the midfield for Bolton. Bergson's cross, not really good enough. Southgate getting it away. Boateng. Referee rather got in Steve Stone's way at a crucial moment. That's given Bolton back possession. So Paul Warhurst back in the big time this afternoon. Boateng looking to time the pass because he knew that Carboni was offside, which is why he delayed. I think we're going to get a yellow card here. Ehiog, the first man into the book this afternoon. Often the case that referees who keep the yellow card in their pocket in the first half start to produce it as the game goes on for fouls that aren't necessarily any worse. Whitlow plays it in, Bergson heads it down, Holdsworth, but away by Southgate for a relieved Villa. There's no way though that Bolton, as the Division 1 team here, are sitting back happy to keep things scoreless. They've been pushing on in this second half, looking to create things themselves. Ehiog with Southgate prevents Gudjonsson getting in. Robbie Elliott. Carboni lays it back. Delaney getting himself into a spot of bother over there. Now John Gregory is down by the dugout. There'll be a huge cheer from the Villa fans now. He played 9 minutes against Derby last week as a substitute, Dion Dublin. His first action since breaking his neck on December the 18th. It could have been a life-threatening situation for him, and it's going to be Carboni, is it, who comes off? Mixed reaction to the substitution from the Villa fans. They think Carboni's a hero already. Doesn't look too happy, does he, the little Italian? But John Gregory's made his decision, and the striker they call Neon Dion is out there with just under 20 minutes to go. Dublin, by the way, even though he's been away for so long, still holds the distinction of being Villa's top scorer this season with 13. He will certainly add extra aerial threat, but bound to be a bit rusty too. There's his first challenge, which he wins in the air. Stone. Here's Gudjonsson. Doesn't he spin beautifully? But he's got very little support around him and has to check back. Johansson says, I'll take it over, which he does, and nearly threads it through for Holdsworth. Merson for Villa this time. Aim towards Joachim, can he get there? Julian Joachim, not quite. Goes down, wants a penalty, but significantly, none of the Villa players put their hands up calling for it. There's only the supporters. Fish did just about enough. Boateng. Back to Gareth Barry, who shot to prominence last season. He's still only 19. That's aimed towards Boateng, but he must be offside and is. Now Carboni. It's not going to be a glory day for him at this time. It'll be on with the contract negotiations next week. Don't know whether John Gregory was feeling that maybe all that stuff going on behind the scenes about the contract has just taken the edge off Carboni's performance today. Maybe. Oh, it's a dodgy clearance by the goalkeeper. But Dublin couldn't quite control it. Fish wants some movement ahead of him and entitled to ask for it. It's Johansson. Covering very good in that Villa defence though. Fish does fine. Gudjonsson! And across the face of goal, it only wanted a touch. And in the end, Delaney gets it clear, but not very far. Whitlow. Warhurst. Whitlow's ball forward again. But Bolton still creating moments of danger for manager Sam Allardyce, who looks like he's getting through more chewing gum during this 90 minutes than Sir Alex Ferguson usually does, and that's saying something. Just over a quarter of an hour remaining here. If it stays like this, remember, it's extra time and then maybe penalties too. Whitlow chips it up. And the decision is a corner kick. Alan Johnston trying to weave his magic. And Paul Ritchie has loped forward for this corner, the central defender. Gudjonsson's in there. So too is Fish. Here comes the corner kick towards the back post and over the bar in the end from Ritchie. A lot of movement from the Bolton players. He won the header but couldn't keep it down. Ritchie signed from Heart of Midlothian by Bolton. Didn't cost anything, which isn't bad, is it, for a Scottish international? Great noise from the supporters ringing around Wembley, cascading around the famous old stadium. Boateng. Maybe a last opportunity for Villa. They're going to get a free kick and we're going to get another card here. And it's Holdsworth who gets it. There was a whole posse of Bolton players involved here, and I was wondering which one of them had actually committed the foul. It was Holdsworth, and it was pretty cynical actually, just stuck out a leg to trip his man up. Oh, the header from Dion Dublin, very, very late in stoppage time. Now just fancy if this had crept in, which it never really looked like doing, to be honest, but just for a moment Bolton hearts were in their mouths. Well, these Bolton fans can be proud of their team's performance. They've just about matched Aston Villa blow for blow here. And the final whistle has gone, with Bergson down injured. 0-0 between Aston Villa and Bolton Wanderers at the end of 90 minutes here. So now we have extra time, and if it's still level after that, we have a penalty shootout. No substitutions made by either side yet, as we set off at the start of this period of extra time. Here's Joachim. Solo run from little Julian Joachim. He's still got it too. Manages to get a cross in, and well claimed by Jääskeläinen. It's a tricky little run from Joachim, and give him credit, despite missing a couple of gilt-edged chances, he hasn't gone missing, he hasn't hidden. Play on, says the referee. Bergson to do some chasing. He's another Bolton defender who's had a really fine match here. Just seems to be moving a bit uneasily, and I think he's going to have to come off, in fact, Bergson. And it's going to be O'Kane, John O'Kane, the former Manchester United and Everton man, who comes in to take his place at right back, which is his natural position. So no problem for Bolton with that strategically, but Bergson looked very, very strong there. Johansson to Gudjonsson. Here's Johansson again, if he can get there, which he can't. Well, will Bolton mentally settle for the idea of a penalty shootout now? Johansson, who might be one of those who does take the penalties if it comes to that. He's scored from the spot this year for Bolton. Dean Holdsworth is the penalty taker at the moment for them. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it, on the Villa side, to see if Gareth Southgate had a go, having failed so infamously for England and this season in a League Cup tie against West Ham. .15 minutes each way to be played here. Dublin beating fish in the air. That hasn't happened very often. Whitlow. Joachim. Stone. There's not been a vast amount of what you'd call fluent, pretty football in this. It's all been pretty erosive stuff. But of course, at this stage of the competition, the result is everything. Merson, bit of room, chips it towards the back post, and it drifted just wide, and I'm not sure whether Jääskeläinen had that covered or not. An instinctive, impudent little effort from Merson. Whoa. Well, this might give you a better idea of how close it was. Not far. Scored with a great run and chip recently against Watford, Merson. Up goes Ehiog with Gudjonsson. Here's Alan Johnston, who they say is going to Glasgow Rangers in the summer. He's on loan at Bolton, and they're hoping that will be extended to beyond the cup final, should Bolton get there. It's a big if. Merson, good idea, trying to pick up Joachim's run. Who was there again? Mark Fish. Gudjonsson gets past Ehiog. He wants to take the ball on Gudjonsson. It's Johansson! He didn't get hold of it. It was a terrific piece of play again from the Icelandic player Gudjonsson to set all this up. It's a disappointing effort really from Johansson. Gudjonsson nicked it away from Barry and finds Dean Holdsworth. Nobody really getting forward into the middle to support him though. O'Kane, the substitute. Johansson, who's working his socks off for Bolton. Here he is again. O'Kane. Back into row G from Gareth Southgate, who's been saying that he's had a whole series of disappointments at semi-finals over the years and is praying it goes right this time. Now Holdsworth. Can any player out there just provide the one moment that could win this semi-final? 15 minutes left now. Our change ends. Nerve-shredding time for the supporters, and it threatens to get worse with the penalty shootout, which is just about unbearable. No further substitutions being made. So off we go. 15 minutes before it goes to penalties. Still 0-0. Bolton and Aston Villa slugging it out in the hope of reaching the FA Cup final. Delaney goes for the long throw, aimed towards Dublin. It was away by Paul Warhurst, who of course can play as a central defender as well. Now here come Bolton on the break. Johnston. Down he goes. And Delaney's name may well go into the book for that. It will do. The third booking of the afternoon. Joining Ehiog and Holdsworth of Bolton. O'Kane's challenge, denying Merson. Well, you can forget the difference between the divisions once this goes to the shootout. We're almost into lottery land then. There's Alan Wright. Warhurst doing the covering. Now Michael Johansson. A lot of space here on the far side for Johnston. And he just wanted to take it too far. He's been bundled over. Bolton have a free kick. And Delaney gets a red card. It's a second yellow which equals red. Well, he was only booked about a minute or so ago, and David Ellery, who's made many a headline in the past, notably in incidents with Manchester United's Roy Keane, produces a red card. Now, was that really worth it? You do have to ask that. Poor Mark Delaney. 2 yellows in the space of, what was it, a couple of minutes, and he is off. Now, can Bolton snatch it now? Well, Dean Holdsworth is there. Whitlow, I've seen him hit cracking free kicks before now with his left foot. Oh, and off the post from Dean Holdsworth. Would you believe it? You could hear the noise all around Wembley. This hit the post so hard. Crack! But it stays out. Oh, look at the reaction on the Bolton bench. So near, so very near for Dean Holdsworth. Villa survive. And you have to say that Bolton have given at least as good as they've got here. Now, good Johnson. James has come off his line. He needs to get there. Oh, it's good Johnson. The angle's difficult, but surely this time, oh, what a miss! What a miss from Holdsworth. How did he do that? Ida Gudjonsson had kept his cool. It was a horrendous mistake, really, by James to come for that. It was a formality, surely, for Dean Holdsworth. And if Bolton do not reach the FA Cup final, he'll be haunted by that moment as long as he lives. A glaring miss. Well, whatever next, it's Dublin. Through to Joachim, he's offside, he's offside. Well, some frenetic excitement late on here. The Bolton fans can't believe it. And John Gregory knows that his side had one of the great escapes there. Still, somehow, it's 0-0. And it's Stone to Dublin. And now we're going to get another yellow card here for Whitlow, is it? No, it's Warhurst. It's Warhurst who gets the yellow. I must say, I thought the sending off of Delaney was a bit on the harsh side, particularly in the current climate. This is up towards Dion Dublin! Off the post! Jääskeläinen got a touch on it first, and yet more drama. Dion Dublin nearly stole it in fairy tale fashion for Villa. It's Boateng. Barry. Players are tired, things are starting to happen. Mistakes, Southgate, back post, right, into the middle, Ehiog! Wow. Everybody breathless here at the moment. This was the Dion Dublin header, and that's a great save by Jääskeläinen. If he hadn't got his fingertips to that, it would have been in. As it was, it hit the post. Then back by right to Ehiog. It was a miscue. 6 and a bit minutes left. Still 0-0. And Aston Villa are going to make a substitution here, bringing on Lee Hendry for George Boateng, and I wouldn't be at all surprised this late if that is because they want Hendry to take one of the penalties. Only the players on the pitch can take them. So I'm sure That is what the substitution is about. It's too late to matter in any other sense. So on comes Hendry, who's had injury problems, scored for England under 21 in midweek. Big win for them to get to the European finals. They're trying to tell us how much is being added, but I honestly couldn't see. It's 1 minute, I'm told, from people who are a good deal closer to that board than me. I don't think anybody in the stadium could honestly have seen it. Here's Merson. Joachim trying to turn. Merson again. Paul Merson. Typical little effort off the outside of the foot from him. But this game seems determined to remain deadlocked. In olden days, of course, they'd have gone away and done it all again with a replay, even before extra time. Not anymore. The fixture list dictates that there has to be a winner today. Good Johnson. We've played 90 seconds extra. There'll be no more. We have a penalty shootout to decide this FA Cup semi-final. Gareth Southgate. What must be going through his head? The man who missed in Euro 96 for England against Germany. I'm sure he will not be among the first 5 to take one for Villa, unless he's in extraordinarily brave mood. I'll tell you something, you would not be wanting to take one of these penalties for all the tea in China. I'll tell you, once I played in a charity game at Wembley a few years ago, and it came to a penalty shootout, and I would not go near taking a spot kick, I tell you. And that was just in a muckabout game. What must it be like to have to take one with a place in the FA Cup final depending on it? Now, first up, it's going to be Villa and Steve Stone. Stone against Jääskeläinen. Here we go. And he's done it. First blood to Villa. Dean Holdsworth, the usual penalty taker for Bolton Wanderers in the Nationwide League Division 1. Scored plenty for Wimbledon in his time as well. Up against David James. Missed a sitter in extra time, but makes up for it, at least, with a goal in the shootout. 1-1. There it is. Clinical. Next will be Lee Hendry, I can tell you, for Aston Villa. So I thought that was the way of it, that Hendry had been brought on just to take the penalty. Well, can he cap a great week? Having scored for England under 21 to send them to the European Championship finals in Barcelona. Listen to the noise. It's Lee Hendry. Oh, just about. Jääskeläinen got a hand to that, but it doesn't matter. It's in. 2-1 Villa. Great effort by the keeper. It looks like Alan Johnston next. The man on loan from Sunderland. Seems in a bit of a hurry, doesn't he? And he's messed it up. Sometimes you can read the body language, and Alan Johnston looked as if he couldn't wait to get that penalty out of the way. Didn't really take his time. And it's a save by David James. 2-1 Villa. 3 penalties left for each of them. And it's Gareth Barry, just 19 years of age. Can he convert to keep Villa in charge? Yes, great penalty. Magnificent penalty. What a temperament he has. 3-1 Villa. Problems for Bolton now. Tremendous piece of work by him. But now it's Michael Johansson, the Danish midfield man. Scored from the spot in the league this season. Oh, and it's another miss. It's another miss. James saves again and is emerging as a hero. And it's going Villa's way. This is looking bad for Bolton now. It wasn't the greatest penalty. So, look at this. What about this for a story now? It's Dion Dublin. If he puts it in, Aston Villa are in the FA Cup final for the first time since 1957. The man who broke his neck back in December. Can he do it for Villa? What a moment. He's done it! Aston Villa are in the FA Cup final. And Dion Dublin is in ecstasy. Absolute heartbreak for poor Bolton. Wild celebrations for Aston Villa, who make it through to the FA Cup final for the first time in 43 years.